Hey guys, what's up? You're watching Up and Adam. My name's Adam Knoll. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm the guy bringing you guys all the weekly interviews and recaps from your favorite celebrities and pop culture influencers. Now, of course, today's no different. We are back to talk about PK from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Fans are deeming him as the voice of reason and also saying give him a diamond. We're going to jump into all of that. But before we do, if you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell. Because, well, you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. Now with that, let's jump right in.
It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
All right, guys, so we saw on a most recent episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, PK voicing his concerns over Erika Girardi's social media activity. He let us know that at one point he was in a corporate lawsuit that was worth almost $1 billion, 550 million pounds. And when he was kind of expected to change the way he was portraying himself, not only in person, but on social media. Because at that point, you have so many eyes on you and people just waiting for you to make a mistake. That way they can crucify you. And I can see what he's talking about. When he's talking in the scene with his wife, Dorit Kemsley, he's letting her know, I understand that your friend's husband cheated on her. I understand that she's getting tied into all of these legal situations. But what I don't understand is her activity on social media, posting these photos where she's in lingerie and she's doing these different brand ambassador programs. And Dorit kind of stops him and says, well, listen, she still has to work. She still has to, have some sort of source of income. And he's like, right. But then the quotes under the photos, why? Right. And she's like, okay, well, I can kind of see where you're coming from. And PK also addressed the fact that there was not one moment, there hasn't been a moment where she has publicly addressed the victims. Dorit even said, well, maybe she has at a dinner, but maybe she can't say too much. And he said, I understand that she has a defense team, but she can at least say something regarding the victims, how sorry she is that her husband allegedly did all of these crimes, whatever, she can say something. And Dorit just looks like she's kind of in a rock and a hard place. But of course, that sent Twitter into a tizzy because now everyone's tweeting and they're team PK over this. Everyone agrees with PK. And it seems like Erika kind of responded in her own indirect way as well. This is what's being said. PK said that you need to send the right message, and that isn't with your legs open in stockings. Oh, okay. When you portray that you don't care and you're uninterested and you're just living your best life, Erika is just scratching the nose of the creditors. PK also added, she's saying, I don't give a I got this. They'll come for her. I've never seen a worse response of what's going on. All right. Well, it keeps going. Fans obviously went nuts on Twitter, and one fan even put a meme, a collage of photos, actually, of Kim Richards and said, just when I thought 2021 couldn't get any worse, I start agreeing with PK. Another Twitter user put, give PK a diamond, hashtag Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, while a third one wrote, PK is the MVP of this episode. PK is dropping truth bombs. People are really team PK on this one. More Twitter users went on to say, who knew that PK would be the voice of reason? And also hell must have frozen over because PK is the voice of reason right now. All right. Well, again, Erika Girardi, it seems like she responded to this conversation that PK had with Dorit because she posted a photo and it didn't really have a caption under it. She just had two kind of star emojis, and in the photo was her almost naked, just laying there. And it kind of seems like, from what we've heard, the Real Housewives actually get to see the episodes before they premiere, before they play out. So they see it before all of the fans. This is what we've heard. And if Erika actually saw this episode before it came out, and she knows that PK is going to say this in this episode, why wouldn't she post this photo just to kind of taunt him? And why wouldn't fans think that's exactly why she's posting the photo? Before we knew it was because of Savage X Fenty, and there was a reason behind why she was posting what she was posting, because she was getting paid for it. But we've heard since then, Savage X Fenty has allegedly dropped her, and now no one's really understanding what the photos actually mean. At the end of the day, it is her social media. She can post whatever she wants, but is it tone deaf? Well, I think that's the number one concern that everyone has. And people are looking at Erika like, you're posting these photos, they're very risque, and you're still continuing to not say anything publicly about the victims. Why? That's the number one question. As of next week's episode, we're going to see where Dorit and PK go back and forth, and she asks her husband, or she tells her husband, you're kind of assuming that Erika's lying. And he's like, no, I'm pretty much saying that Erika was in a controlling marriage for over 20 years. And I think, or I feel like she could potentially still be being controlled. To which Maurizio added, there's lies all over the place. It looks like the husbands are starting to raise concerns of their own, and they are not holding back. They're being very vocal about how they feel. And PK has kind of been deemed a little bit dirty in the past, especially after Pantygate, when he was allegedly looking up Erika's pants and pointed out the fact that she didn't have any panties on, and that played out a whole season. It was annoying. It was like Puppygate, Pantygate, Strippergate. It was one of those things that just didn't stop. And why it was kind of relentless, and why were we paying attention to it the whole season? Whereas I feel like the scandal is continuing to have twists and turns, and it's keeping our interest for totally different reasons. It's not one thing that happened. It's collectively a group of things that have continued to happen. And of course, fans are going to want to talk about it. So we'll have to see what happens on next week's episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But before that happens, don't forget, guys, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is premiering today, season 2. Episode 1 is going to be amazing. We've already seen the first 7 minutes. If you're not on the Bravo Insider, Bravo exclusives on BravoTV.com, it's so easy to sign up. You can watch the first 7 minutes of the episode, and we see Jen Shah's arrest. Not only do we see her arrest, but we see her very vocal about the fact that her husband was about to file for divorce. What the hell is happening in Salt Lake City? This is going to be one insane season. So we'll be recapping that tomorrow with DJ Richie Sky on his channel. And then we'll also be recapping it on my channel with Down with Jason and also Kempire. And then you guys already know when the next episode of Beverly Hills Housewives comes out, we will be recapping that as well. But before I go, my question for you is, are you Team PK on this? Do you feel like he's speaking the truth? Does it sound tone deaf? Or do you think PK is just reaching and putting his nose in women's business where it doesn't necessarily belong? And my next question is, by Erika posting this photo on social media, is it just a coincidence? Or is Erika letting him know, I'm going to do whatever the I want, and I don't care what you have to say about it? We've seen that behavior too. No one's going to tell Erika what to do. It's very obvious. And no one's going to take her off of social media. That's obvious as well, especially after one fan tweeted, delete your account, and she said never. All right, guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. Don't forget to comment below. And before you go, if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel. That way you don't miss daily and weekly updates. All right, happy Sunday fun day, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.